Right, hello ladies and gents, welcome to another repair video. Today we're going to be working on this PlayStation 5 which has been sent in, and this is rather an exciting time because this is the first PlayStation 5 which I've received for repair. It's kind of sad to see it in such a sorry state already, but that being said, it's my first PS5. I've got two of these in for repair right now, both of them with similar issues, and both of them with similar backstory. So before I get started with that, I do want to make an announcement, and that is that I am now offering PlayStation 5 repairs. I have PS5 ports in stock, and I'm also offering other repairs as well. One thing I'm going to find difficult is replacing things like disk drives and power supplies because we can't actually get them. That being said, the PlayStation 5 power supply is something I might be willing to work on. Even though I don't usually work on power supplies, I might be willing to work on the power supply itself just because of the difficulty getting the stock. So if you do need a PlayStation 5 repair, whether it's a HDMI port or anything else, get in touch. There'll be some contact details in the video description, and I'll be happy to help. So without further ado, let's get into this particular repair. So these consoles, this one and the other one that I've got in for repair, have got a little bit of a backstory. They've been to a technician for a HDMI port replacement, and unfortunately now they no longer turn on. So the HDMI port replacement seemed to have gone successful, and then basically it's all been put back together and here we are. So it doesn't turn on apparently. So let's take a look and see what's going on with this. This is of course the very first PlayStation 5 that I'm working on. So this is number one going to be a good learning experience for me because obviously I've never taken one of these apart. I mean, how hard can it be? Screws. It's not going to be too difficult. But that being said, it's also going to be a learning experience in terms of I can get used to the layout a little bit of the entire console. So if you've watched any of the previous repair videos I've done, for example the PlayStation 4s and things like that, I don't usually cover the disassembly process of the console. But for the first few PS5s that I get in, I will cover the disassembly process just so as a few more people kind of get used to it sort of thing, and hopefully it will help a few people, you know, actually getting to see the motherboard layout up close and the layout of the rest of the console. So it's going to be a learning experience for all of us, unless you've of course already worked on one, and in that case then you'll probably know more than me because like I said, I've never worked on one of these. So I'm going to get started, and first thing I'll do actually is just see what's going on with the system. And like I said, these have been to a technician before, and you know, I'm thinking, I mean, it's not turning on since the HDMI port replacement. I'm thinking something's not been installed properly, but like I said, this is a learning experience, and this is going to be a part where not only myself but the person who works on this can learn from it and maybe not make that mistake again, because this is, you know, I've got two of these with similar issues and they both went in for HDMI ports to the same place. So yeah, let's see what's going on with it. Let's try and turn it on. Okay, and that seems to be similar to the 2-second blue light of death on the PS4. That's quite frightening in terms of repairs, because, well, if it's anything similar to the PlayStation 4, then that could be APU related. Obviously, there are no parts available for this console yet. There's going to be no spare motherboards. There's going to be no spare power supplies, all of that sort of stuff. So, yeah, that could be a bad thing. I'll be honest. Okay, and I heard the disk drive kick in slightly then. So I'm going to try and time this. Yeah, that's 2 seconds. That's roughly 2 seconds, 2 to 2.5 seconds. Yeah, that's not good. I'm going to be honest, that's not good. but never mind. Right, so like I said, this is the first time that I am obviously opening these up. As far as I'm aware, you just slide these and clip them off. Do you slide them down? Right, if I make some noise on the mic, I apologise. Oh, okay. Wow. Ow, that hurt my fingers. Okay. Well, I mean, straight away I'm noticing something here. What is this? What is this? I mean, is that... Okay, well... Let me see if that comes off with isopropyl alcohol, because that's not... that shouldn't be there. It could be... I don't know, it could be scratch marks from the... Yeah, I think it is actually. Is it? No, it's not. That looks like some sort of... because that's coming off. So I'm not sure what that is. I mean, obviously it's not meant to be there. Or at least I assume it's not meant to be there. Let me see if that comes off with a bit of isopropyl alcohol, because that's not normal. I mean, it's quite dusty considering the age. Right, that could just be marks off the plastic, so from where it slides down, maybe, I don't know. Very odd indeed. Right, okay, so let's do the same with this one then. So I'm assuming it slides down ways. Oh, that one come off a lot easier. Yeah, it's the same that side as well. Yeah, I think that's I'm assuming that's from where the case has come off, maybe. Alright, well, let's continue to disassemble then. Right, so we've got, what I believe are T9 screws. So there's a T9 there. Let me turn this around actually, so as it's there we go. So what I'll probably have to do is basically go back on the video to work out where they go. Alright, so black screws. Are these going to be lung screws? Yep, so they're lung screws. There is a screw missing there. So these black screws look like they're going to be chassis screws that drive all the way through. Oh, wow, there's smaller screws everywhere. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, Sony, why do you do it? Yep, that's a smaller screw as well. So there's 4 different screws so far. Wow. That's all I'm going to say. Wow. 5 different screws. Well, how are you meant to get that one? Like, really? Oh, I think this comes off, doesn't it? I think I watched a teardown video earlier on. I think this comes off. Okay, yeah, well that works. Yeah. Alright, so like I said, this is a learning experience for me. This is the first time I've been inside this console, so it's going to be a learning experience. This is going to be another lung one. Mid-size. Wow, this is going to be a little bit of a tricky one to put back together. Well, I've just dropped one of them. Okay, I found it. Never mind. Phew. Let's not drop these screws. I do not have any spare. So let's not lose screws. Oh, okay, well, there's another long one. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Why, Sony? Why? Come on. Wow. This could be quite tricky. Right, well, I guess I'm just going to have to wing it, basically, as I go along with this thing. They make it difficult, let's put it that way. I don't understand why they would use so many different screws. I mean, I know they want to brace the board, but yeah. This one's probably going to be a long one. Oh, okay, this one don't want to come out. Oh, nearly. There we go. Yep. Okay, so the two corners are long screws. Okay, right. Okay, so let's switch to a Phillips PH0. Oh wow, another different screw. Okay, so that's where the M.2 drive will go when they get released. I don't know if they've been released yet. I'm not sure. How does this come off? Pry tool. Oh, that's a sticker. Okay. Yeah, that works. Right, I need to pop that somewhere where it's not going to get dusty. Well, at least the fan's accessible. And that is a big fan. That is a big fan. Okay, well, I mean, yeah. Alright, well, this was definitely a last minute design style thing. Maybe. Odd. I'll put that with the fan just so I know it goes by where the fan sits. And another screw. Wait, are these meant to come off? I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, so there's that part. And what is this? Oh, okay, that's the disk drive, so no, they're not meant to come off. Whoops. Let's put them back on if we don't need them off. Okay, so let's just disconnect the disk drive connector. So one thing that you might not know about these connectors is there's actually a small clip at the back of these connectors. They're similar to the PS4 connectors, and there's a small clip which you need to press in to release and to insert the ribbon. And I see this all the time where this connector gets damaged, or rather this, it's actually more this connector here, and I see this all the time where that gets damaged because people don't press the button when they're actually removing that ribbon. I'll leave the ribbon in the other side, and now we have a behemoth of screws. Let's just start disconnecting things. So Wi-Fi antennas there. And okay, so let's carry on. So I'm going to switch back to what I assume is going to be a T9. Actually, there's a Phillips screw there. Nope, that's a standoff for the M2 drive. Okay, never mind. Like I said, I'm learning. Learn along with me. Okay, so are they the same as those ones? Yep. Right, I wonder how long it'll be before those screws are available. Probably already are, actually. Alright, so I'm just going to go around and remove these screws from around here. I'll fast forward through this bit. I'm just removing screws. And if I notice anything, I'll obviously resume. Okay, I believe I'm just coming up to the last screw. Wow, that is a lot of screws. That is an awful lot of screws. Right, okay, so that plate should come off. There we go. And thermal pads appear to be intact. Is it that viscous paste or something like that? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but yeah, they appear to be intact. Okay, so we've got a ribbon here which needs to come out, or which I assume needs to come out. So I'm going to press on that. Okay. All right. So let's switch to a Phillips PH0 and get this clamp off. They're pretty serious about this clamp, huh? Okay, I'm going to work it evenly. I'm going to keep even pressure there. And just look at these screws mounting up. I'm going to count these in a minute. I'm going to count these screws in a minute. That is a beefy clamp. Absolute monster. Okay. Right. So okay, so I know there's obviously liquid metal on this. I want to get the board out, but I also don't want to spill liquid metal all over the place. Okay, what's holding this in? What's holding you in, mate? Come on. There we go. A little bit of suction there. Okay. Right. Alright, so I can see very clearly that the HDMI port's obviously been changed. That's kind of expected. And that is a beast of a board. Absolute beast of a board. I'm wondering if it's anything to do with the fact that there's liquid metal around. Now, obviously I can't take this sealed off here. I can take the liquid metal off because I do have some to replace it. So that's something that was also sent down with this motherboard, or with this console. Right, but I'm going to get the rest of it out the way for now. Now the problem is I don't know exactly how much liquid metal I need to apply if I replace it. And I think that's probably something I'm going to have to do. Now the question is, what's the best way to remove the liquid metal? I think I'm going to have to look that up. I think that's something I'm going to have to look up, I'll be honest. 90061GG, that's the part number for the South Bridge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start taking notes. I'm going to look over the board, I'm going to take notes of things. And yeah, I'll probably pause the video and resume once I've got a few notes. Right, okay, so I've just been taking a look on around the motherboard, just basically taking a few part numbers down and stuff, because the only part number I had in my head was for the HDMI encoder IC. And I started researching a couple of the parts just so I could figure out what they are and stuff like that. And the part I was researching in particular are these chips here. So this is the SSD, or what I believe is the SSD. And basically I come across an image on Google. So if we take a look at this image here, this is just a normal PS5 motherboard, what we've got in front of us. And if we take a look at the APU itself, one interesting thing is that it basically looks like a regular APU, right? And one interesting thing to note about the APU itself is look how close the liquid metal actually comes to the transistors on the side. So what I'm thinking is, liquid metal has got down here. That's what I'm thinking with this one. I think liquid metal has got down here and it's touching these transistors. So I'm thinking this cover here is going to have to come off, I think. So I'm going to have to take this off and clean the liquid metal off, and then just hope that's what's... So zooming in a little bit just so as you guys can see as well. This foam is going to have to come off, like I said. And I've got a feeling that when I take this off, we're going to find liquid metal underneath. Okay, there's a lot of goo around there, but there is definitely liquid metal there. Let me pop this under the microscope. Okay, and that is the closest, well, the furthest away I'm going to be able to get, unfortunately. However, if we take a look at the actual APU itself, there is definitely liquid metal in that corner. Now, how much of an effect that's going to have, I don't know. But there's definitely liquid metal there. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to have to clean this off. Now, like I say, I do have some liquid metal to replace this, so I'm going to have to clean it off. I'm not sure the best way to actually clean it. Now, the interesting thing is there are some... Well, there is a little barrier here. So I think I'm going to go back to the normal camera, and I'm thinking I'm just going to have to clean all of this liquid metal off. Now, like I said, I don't know the best way to do this. I've never dealt with liquid metal before, but liquid metal is conductive, and that could definitely be causing a blue light of death on this. Okay, so it might take a while to clean this. But I think this is probably necessary, to be honest. Okay, I'm going to try a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Okay. Right, well I think I've got it all. I think. So I'm going to inspect it again under the microscope and just basically make sure that I've got all of the liquid metal off the APU. And then I'll reapply some fresh liquid metal and cross our fingers and hope, I think. And I apologise, I did have the multimeter there as well on the screen. I think I've got all of the liquid metal, I think. So it looks like it's all gone from around the edges. I think I've got it all, yeah. Okay, it looks clean. It looks good. Believe me, that is not an easy task to get that liquid metal off. I'm going to say that much, that is not an easy task. Right, let's have a look at the underneath of here. And yeah, I don't think any's worked its way there. Right, okay. So taking that out the way a minute, let's just have a look at this here as well. So I'm going to pop this to one side, this PS5 motherboard, and let's try and clean this off as well. Now the problem is I'm not sure how much liquid metal I need to use to replace it. That's the problem. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need to use to replace it. So basically what we need to do is just soak up the liquid metal. And the reason that this can cause a problem is because it's conductive. The liquid metal is conductive, obviously, because it's metal. So basically it's yeah, it's definitely gonna cause an issue if some did work its way onto a part of the APU that it shouldn't. If it's shorting out a transistor to ground or something, then we're gonna have issues. So what I'm gonna do is just clean off this as well, and then basically just replace and reassemble. I think that's going to be the plan. It certainly takes a lot of cotton swabs though, I'll say that much, to clean these up. Right, okay, so let's try and get this thing reassembled and back together then. So I'm going to add some fresh liquid metal to this. Obviously we can't add thermal paste because it's been proven by quite a few people, notably Tronic Fix, that liquid metal doesn't work on these. So if you don't know who Tronic Fix is, I absolutely recommend you go check him out. There'll be a link in the video description to his channel. But he's taken a few of these apart and he has done a test on these thermal wise to check if thermal paste basically done the job, and it doesn't. So yeah, let's put the proper stuff on. Let's get some thermal grizzly liquid metal on here. So okay, so we've got some Q-tips there, which are obviously intended for cleaning up old liquid metal, I assume, as well as some alcohol pads. Wish I'd known that before. Never mind. Okay, so liquid metal then. Now, like I said, I don't know how much of this to put on, so I'm going to be winging it here a little bit. I'm assuming there's not a fat lot in here. Oh wow. Yeah, I really don't know how much to put on. So I'm assuming this will just spread itself out. But we'll see. So obviously I'll do some thermal tests on it if I can get it to turn on. And the main thing I want to do right now is just basically get it tested. So I'm going to put it back together enough to test it basically. So I don't actually know how much I'm going to need in terms of testing, but I'm basically going to try and put it back together as much as I can for testing without having to put, you know, 50, 60 screws back in, however many there is here. I will try and count them. But I don't want to put it all back together because I don't want to, well, I don't want to waste time basically. Right, let's figure out this. So again, this is still going to be a learning process in terms of putting it back together. So I'm assuming for reassembly, I'm not going to need that much in terms of components. I don't think I'd need the disk drive. So I'm going to use even pressure if I can on this. Because again, I don't know what that can take in terms of pressure when being assembled. So I'm going to try and use even pressure. I don't need the disk drive. I'm going to put the fan in. I don't need the disk drive. And I don't think I need anything else really. But I'm going to plug the fan in just because I don't know whether it's going to operate without it. In terms of the Wi-Fi antennas, I'm going to leave them loose. I think that's pretty much it in terms of testing. I don't think I'll need to put much more here. I'm going to put the heat pipes over or rather this plate here, this aluminium plate. I'm going to put that over. I'm not going to screw it down, but I'm going to put it over just to, well, basically keep the VRMs cool. I think that's pretty much going to be it in terms of testing, I think. So let's plug it in. And let's try and turn it on. Whoops. No, that is not turning on still. Interesting. So something's missing here, something's not right. But the question is what? Is it something to do with the power supply? So you can see that the fan tries to fire up. And then obviously stops because it turns itself off. Interesting. Oh, but it's nothing to do with pressure on the APU from what I can tell. Something's not right. Something's missing. Something has to be missing. something has to be either missing or possibly shorted out. Oh wow, that was nowhere near enough liquid metal there. Nowhere near. Right. Well, I don't think it's anything to do with the power supply. Now, one thing that was noted was that there was a diode missing off the HDMI circuit. So basically, when the original HDMI port was installed, a diode basically got pushed off because of the way the port was snapped. So let's take a look around that area, because that's where the work has been done. Here's where the work has obviously been done. And here is where the diode is missing from as well, just here. So there's a diode what's meant to be here, and I've got a strange feeling that this is going to be the diode for pin number 13. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check pin number 13 on the port and just see if we've got continuity to that pin. So I'm going to put my multimeter into continuity mode. That's the mode that's going to beep when we complete the circuit, and I'm going to pop one probe on here, and as you can see it's linked to this pin here. So if we count back, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So pin number 13 is that one there. Yeah. So pin number 13 is there. That's not going to stop you from turning on. Definitely not. That is not going to stop you from turning on. It's going to be the same diode that's on a PS4, or at least it should be. Right, let's check for shorts on the HDMI port. Yeah, there's no shorts on the HDMI port, so I don't think the HDMI port... I just realised you couldn't see anything at all there. I am sorry. All I was doing was just going across each pin from one pin to the next, just basically checking for shorts on each pin, and there's no shorts across the pins from what I can see. One notable thing is this component here. If we take a look at this is burnt. Or at least it appears to be burnt. But again, I don't think that's going to cause it. I mean, I can replace that component, but yeah, I don't think it's going to cause it. And I can't see anything at all out of the ordinary. There's no damage at all to this. No damage at all to the circuit. Right, let's check for shorts to ground on some of these pins. So that's pin number 2, that is a ground, that's normal. 5 is a ground. 8's a ground. 11's a ground. 17's a ground. And yeah, no shorts to ground on any of those pins either. Yeah, so I'm going to go into diode mode. And yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to replace this component. I'm going to put this component back off a donor board. Now, obviously, I don't have a donor board for a PS5, but it's the same diode as pin number 13 on the PS4, so it's going to be exactly the same. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing here is that port was very loose. Like, I'm talking real loose. So I've ended up basically just taking that port off. Just basically knocked it with my tweezers and it came off. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with the port, but I've basically just taken that off for the time being. I can put the port back on, obviously, and I do have PS5 ports in stock, so I can always replace it. So I'm going to clean up. So just in case there's something wrong with the port or the installation, I've just taken it off. Just for the time being, just to basically try and get a better idea of what's going on, because honestly at the moment it's a bit of a mystery to me. So that diode there being knocked off looks like it could be a regular occurrence, to be honest. If the port gets knocked backwards, it's going to damage components. Now, saying that, one other notable thing about this is I do remember the technician telling me that he knocked this capacitor as well, I believe, and that we managed to get that one back on. So I'm going to take this capacitor off. I'm going to remove this capacitor from pin number 18. Pin number 18 is a 5-volt input line, so I mean, I doubt very much it's going to have made a difference, but I'm going to remove it anyway. And this board keeps knocking itself out of focus. So I'm going to pop that cap to one side. While I've got the board warm, I'm going to remove this solder from these ground legs. Okay, so I've just cleaned up those ground legs a little bit, which is going to make it a bit easier for me to install a new port, or to reinstall the port rather. I am going to clean up these pads as well. Just had a bit of flux there, and I'm going to wick away the pads just to clean them up. Okay, so that area is clean, and that wasn't absolutely necessary, but I want to rule out anything that the technician might have done in terms of installing the port, because there is a 5-volt line there. Pin number 18 is a 5-volt line. Okay, so as you can see, that's nice and clean now. Just get that in focus there. Beautifully clean. So flipping the board around, I just want to see if there's anything missing from this side. I don't think there is. Everything looks fine. And that diode's a little bit wonky, but very doubtful that's causing an issue. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else really that the technician could have done to damage this. Odd. Okay, so I'm not going to apply any thermal, well, any liquid metal. I'm not going to apply any liquid metal. I just want to see if it turns on. I mean, obviously, either way, I'm going to put that port back. I'm going to put that component back and stuff. I just want to see if it turns on without the port installed, because that's the only thing what's been done to this, really. So unless excess pressure has been put on the APU, there's nothing else I can think of what could have caused any kind of damage, unless something's missing. And I don't think it is. I don't think it's meant to have anything else there. So yeah, it's certainly an odd one. I'm not going to bother putting I'm not going to bother putting the heatsink back on yet. I just want to see if it stays on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I really don't. I can't see anything else what the technician could have done. There's no signs of damage. There's no signs that he's done anything wrong. Yeah, there's just nothing. There's absolutely nothing to go by. Right, okay. So I'm going to leave it there for this video. Time's getting on a little bit. I'm going to leave it there for this particular video. If you know any reason what could be causing this, let me know down in the comment section down below. I'm probably going to have this for a day or two. I'll try and get this video posted tonight. So if you've got any idea what could be causing this and you might be able to help me out, let me know. I am more than happy to take on any kind of advice. I've never worked on one of these before. I don't know the circuit. I do not have a clue where to start testing, because we don't know where the voltage rails are and things like that. The only thing I can think of, if I'm being perfectly honest, is that maybe liquid metal has got onto the APU where it shouldn't have, and it shorted the APU. That's the only thing I can think of. Other than that, I don't know. I really don't. But I'm going to leave it there for this one. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. I'll look forward to reading them. If you want to see more repair videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications so that you're notified every time that I upload. If you do want to support the channel, there'll be some Amazon links in the video description down below. If every time someone clicks on one of those links and buys something on Amazon while using my affiliate links, I do get a little bit of a kickback, and it does help the channel out. So I really appreciate that. And if you want to become a channel member, you can do so by clicking the join button, and all channel members get early access to my videos. But that's going to be it for this one. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, see you later. Bye for now.